Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So, we arrive at Al Kahf. And Al Kahf, the cave, as the word is translated. We are in the Muhammad Ali translation. This is sort of like the Islamic Book of Revelations, but it's not what people think, if you can say the full of it on a Friday, that being Thursday sunset to Friday sunset during that period sometime. If you can say the first 10 verses and the last 10 verses, or perhaps just one of those two. It is said to be a means of protection in the end times, and we will find out pedagogically and cosmologically how that is the case. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, and of course mystically and sociologically and stuff too. Praise be to Allah who revealed the book to his servant and allowed not therein any crookedness, rightly directing to give warning of severe punishment from him, and to give good news to the believers who do good, that theirs is a goodly reward, staying in it forever, and to warn those who say Allah has taken to himself a son, and they have no knowledge of it, nor had their fathers. Grievous is the word that comes out of their mouths, they speak nothing but a lie. Then maybe thou wilt kill thyself with grief, sorrowing after them, if they believe not in this announcement. Surely we have made whatever's on the earth an embellishment for it, so that we may try which of them is best in works, and we shall surely make what is on it dust, without herbage. Or thinkest thou that the companions of the cave and the inscription were of our wondrous signs? When the youths sought refuge in the cave, and they said, Our Lord, grant us mercy from thyself, and provide for us a right course in our affair. So we prevented them from hearing in the cave for a number of years, and then we raised them up that we might know which of the two parties was best able to calculate the time for that for which they remained. We relate to thee their story with truth. Surely they were youths who believed in their Lord, and we increased them in guidance, and we strengthened their hearts when they stood up and said, Our Lord is the Lord of the heavens and the earth. We call upon no God besides him, for then indeed we should utter an enormity. These our people have taken gods besides him. Why do they not bring clear authority for them? Who is then more unjust than he who forges a lie against a law? And when you withdrew from them, and what they worship save Allah, take refuge in the cave, your Lord will spread forth for you of his mercy, and provide for you a profitable course in your affair. And thou mightest see the sun when it rose, declining from their cave to the right, and when it set, leave them behind on the left, while they were in a wide space thereof. And this is of the signs of Allah. He whom Allah guides, he is on the right way, and whom he leaves in error, thou wilt not find for him a friend to guide aright. And thou mightest think them awake while they were asleep, and we turned them about to the right and to the left, with their dog outstretching its paws at the entrance. If thou didst look at them, thou wouldst turn back from them in flight, and thou wouldst be filled with awe because of them. And thus did we rouse them, that they might question each other. A speaker from among them said, How long have you tarried? And they said, We have tarried for a day or part of a day. Others said, Your Lord knows best how long you have tarried. Now send one of you with this silver of yours to the city. Then let him see what food is purest, and bring you provisions from it, and let him behave with gentleness, and not make your case known to anyone. For if they prevail against you, then they would stone you to death or force you back to their religion, and then you would never succeed. And thus did we make to get knowledge of them, that they might know that Allah's promise is true, and that the hour, and there is no doubt about it, when they disputed among themselves about their affair and said, erect an emphasis over them, their Lord knows best about them. Those who prevailed in their affair said, we shall certainly build a place of worship over them. Some say 3, the 4th of them their dog, and others say 5, the 6th of them their dog, making conjectures about the unseen, and say 7, and the 8th of them their dog, say my Lord knows best their number, none knows them but a few. So contend not in their matter, but with an outward contention, and question not any of them concerning them. We find elsewhere that graves and such, we're not supposed to make houses of worship over the graves. Well, I mean, the whole world could have somebody die in it, but you know what I mean. No churches, as could be said. A church meaning coming from kirk, a hero shrine. And say not of anything. I mean, we allow other people to have that, but in Islam we don't do that. And say not of anything, I will do that tomorrow, unless Allah please, and remember thy Lord when thou forgettest, and say, maybe my Lord will guide me to a nearer course, to the right than this. And they remained in their cave 300 years, and they add 9. You know the difference between solar years and lunar years. Say, Allah knows best how long they remained. His is the unseen of the heavens and the earth, how clear is his sight and his hearing. There is no guardian for them besides him, and he associates none in his judgment. And remember the he and his and stuff. We're not calling God male, this is gender neutral. And recite that which has been revealed to thee of the book of thy Lord. There is none who can alter his words, and thou wilt find no refuge besides him, and keep thyself with those who call on their Lord morning and evening, desiring his goodwill, and let not thine eyes pass from them, desiring the beauties of this world's life, and follow not him whose heart we have made unmindful of our remembrance, and he follows his low desires, and his case exceeds due bounds. And so we see the mention of the 4 poisons of the heart and how to deliver ourselves from them, addressing these issues, the media choices, the friend choices, how we express ourselves, and what we consume, Of course, counteracting all these with goodly choices. And say the truth is from your Lord, so let him who please believe, and let him who please disbelieve. Surely we have prepared for the iniquitous a fire, and an enclosure of which will encompass them, and if they cry for water, they are given water like molten brass, scalding their faces, evil the drink, and ill the resting place. The drink of the evil ones, and the resting place of the evil. And as for those who believe and do good, we waste not the reward of him who does a good work. These it is for whom are gardens of perpetuity. These it is for whom are gardens of perpetuity, wherein flow rivers. They are adorned therein with bracelets of gold, and they wear green robes of fine silk and thick brocade, reclining therein on raised couches, excellent the recompense, and goodly the resting place. And this is one of those chapters revealed in full. Muhammad said it before hearing of, there was a delegation that it came. I guess you could call them that. They had 3 questions. If Muhammad was a prophet, he would know. And this surah was said in full at that point. And we also should remember, like in verse 29 of 18, people are allowed to believe or disbelieve whatever they want in an Islamic state. And there are other passages that make this point clear, because it's, freedom of a system of judgment is something that needs to be repeated in different ways and different places to make sure that the lesson is had. And set forth to them the parable of 2 men. For one of them we made 2 gardens of grapevines, and we surrounded them with date palms, and between them we made cornfields. Both these gardens yielded their fruits, and failed not in aught thereof, and we caused a river to gush forth in their midst, and he had fruit. So he said to his companion, while he argued with him, I have greater wealth than thou, and am mightier in followers. And he went into his garden while he was unjust to himself. He said, I think not that this will ever perish, and I think not that the hour will come, and even if I am returned to my Lord, I will certainly find a returning place better than this. His companion said to him, while arguing with him, disbelievest thou in him who created thee of dust, then of a small life germ? Then he made thee a perfect man. But as for me, he, Allah, is my Lord, and I associate none with my Lord. And wherefore didst thou not say, when thou enterest thy garden, it is as Allah has pleased? There is no power save in Allah. If thou consider me as less than thee in wealth and children, then maybe my Lord will give me better than thy garden, and will send on a reckoning from heaven, so that it is dust without plant, or its water will sink down into the ground, so that thou art unable to find it. And his fruit was destroyed, so he began to wring his hands for what he had spent on it, while it lay waste, its roofs fallen down. And he said, Ah me, would that I had ascribed no partners to my Lord. And he had no host to help him against the law, nor could he defend himself. Thus protection is only Allah's, the true one. He is best to reward and best in requiting. And set forth to them the parable of the life of this world, as water which we send down from the cloud, so the herbage of the earth becomes luxuriant thereby, and then it becomes dry, broken into pieces, which the winds scatter, and Allah is the holder of power over all things. Wealth and children are an adornment of the life of this world, but the ever-abiding, the good works are better with thy Lord in reward, and better in hope. And the day when we cause the mountains to pass away, and thou seest the earth a levelled plain, and we gather them together, and leave none of them behind, and they are brought before thy Lord in ranks. Now certainly you have come to us as we created you at first. Nay, you thought that we had not made an appointment for you, and the book is placed, and thou seest the guilty fearing for what is in it. And they say, O woe to us, what a book is this? It leaves out neither a small thing, nor a great one, but numbers them all, and they find what they did confronting them, and thy Lord wrongs not anyone. And when we said to the angels, make submission to Adam, and they submitted except Iblis, he was of the jinn, so he transgressed the commandments of his Lord. Will you then take him and his offspring for friends rather than me, and they are your enemies? Evil is the exchange for the unjust. And, Iblis, all the jinn, had made that mistake at that point. I made them not to witness the creation of the heavens and the earth, nor their own creation, nor could I take those who mislead for aiders. And one day he will say, call on those whom you consider to be my partners. So they will call on them, but they will not answer them, and we shall cause a separation between them, and the guilty will see the fire, and know that they are about to fall into it, and they will find no escape from it. And certainly we have made distinct in this Qur'an for mankind every kind of description, and mankind is in most things contentious, and nothing prevents humanity from believing when the guidance comes to them, and from maxing forgiveness of their Lord, but that for the way of the ancients to overtake them, are that the chastisement should confront them, and we send not messengers but as givers of good news and warning, and those who disbelieve contend with falsehood to weaken thereby the truth, and they take my messages and the warning for a mockery. And God willing, we will continue with verse 57 of chapter 18 later.